Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Thursday's Market SITREP or Situation Report here at Top Gun Options. Apologize for the lack of connectivity yesterday. Good old Comcast cut cables and more or less knocked out half of God's waiting room down here. But we are up and operational. Looking forward to our brief this morning at 10 a.m. But let's go to our SITREP here. Here we go with another risk, off day, right? Risk on day with news of impending trade deal stuff. So yesterday the market was down on news that the signing was not going to happen this month, as being moved back to December, mainly because we can't find a place to do it, which we know is a lie for the bigger issues. And today, the futures are through the roof right now. The Dow futures are up about 150 on news that the U.S. has agreed to roll back tariffs. Not one word from the United States. Beijing usually doesn't describe how much progress has been made on trade talks, but officials depict phasing out of tariffs as a hard-won result. So here we are again, folks. Stocks jump on hopes of a trade deal. No date, no location. The United States hasn't agreed to any of that. So the United States is this is going to be interesting. First of all, a year and a half ago, I can't remember when it was, as time flies, they agreed to stop, exporting fentanyl and hang people who did that. They haven't done any of that. They promised to buy $50 billion in ag goods. They haven't bought a bean from us yet. They haven't done anything that they've agreed to up until this point. And now they're saying that the U.S. has agreed to roll back tariffs. As of Thursday evening in Beijing's time, the White House and the USTR had yet to respond to the Chinese side's announcement. I got to be honest with you. We'll see. It's going to be a very big day in the market with to see how the United States, responds. Phasing out tariffs could be face-saving way for Washington to claim it has worked out a system to get China to comply with terms of potential agreement. One of the problems with this, folks, and Robert Lighthizer, there are huge sticking points, folks. What's the settlement mechanism when, not if, when we find out the Chinese are cheating or aren't doing anything that they promised to do? What do? We get back into a trade war, right? The Chinese are doing this whole, hey man, you guys started this trade war. You need to remove all tariffs to get this thing they're essentially saying this is all on us. So here, this is in the Journal, and they're usually pretty good. There are some indications that the Trump administration may be getting desperate. China may pick up on this and start playing hardball because they know, at least politically, they have the upper hand. So, does the president drag this right in front, to a January, February timeframe when the Democrats are in full bore impeachment mode? This is. I just don't. I don't believe any of it. But you trade the market you have, not the one you want. So we had a good weekly options bear call spread. I had one that expired actually Monday for a nice $4,500 profit. We had a bear call spread that expired yesterday, as the market just kind of wallowed. As we said, we peaked here. We have a ledge, and obviously today it looks like it's going to be a leg higher up to record highs. So the bear call spread yesterday expired for max profit of $1,800, so $5,800 ish. With our weekly options trade. So very, very happy with those. Tuesday, we covered a new bullish spread on defense stock, UTX. Gotta love the defense stocks, folks. These are looking really, really sweet. Wow, going to be up to 149 at the open here. Haven't talked about it in a while. Iran, Saudi Arabia, all that stuff. Look at the run in UTX, even pre-earnings. Just absolutely fantastic run out of UTX. I'd stay bullish on that. We did a bear call spread on Brazil, which is looking good. The 46 and a half EWZ. EWZ's done a nice job rolling over for us nicely. That one's looking to expire for a max profit on Friday. Do have a problem with this one, FXI. I currently have one trade that we're going to cover at 10 a.m. that's completely underwater. I was holding on to it through Friday because these big swings in these trade headline news. We could see some profit in that, but now I have a 43 and a half, and at least pre-market, the FXI is up above 43. It's up above 43.08. I'm holding on to this, folks. The United States, as I said, the U.S. side, folks, hasn't said a word. Okay. The Chinese very, very rarely don't describe the progress. They keep their mouth shut. They're not like Mnuchin, Lighthizer, Mr. Magoo, Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, or the president. They just they sit there behind closed doors. So if we come out with anything a little bit so what's our move? Do we come out and say, yeah, China's right. We're going to roll back these tariffs, or we're going to get rid of all of them. Things are great. That's going to look desperate. Okay, so this market ripping higher, at least pre-market, on good news out of the Chinese saying we're going to roll back tariffs. There's a reason you haven't heard from the White House or the USTR. Okay, so always dig into this stuff, folks. Don't wake up, grab your coffee, and trade the headlines. Like, hey, stocks are heading higher on a trade. Use your brain. I would sell into this pop unless the president is desperate to get a deal. I just don't. I think we're going to get a little bit of a decline when the market comes to earth. So there really is nothing else to talk about in the stock market, folks. Our earnings were mixed at best. The Fed's in the background, and this is it. This is all trade. We might get long, maybe some FXI calls out to December, just in case the president does decide to at least punt the December tariffs, but everything else, folks, it really is kind of sit on the hands time. I'm waiting to do my what I call seasonal trades. Right, November 1st, we're getting ready for the holidays. Right, the Christmas tree goes up, and so do stocks usually, like an Amazon, an XRT, which is the retail ETF. All those type of things tend to seasonally go up. Visa, everybody breaks out their credit card. Might be time to look at these trades, but what I'm fearful about is a presidential, hey, they think, because the last time his negotiators told him that, hey, you know what, they're just not, they're dragging their feet. They think Joe Biden's going to win, and they think, they can outlast you. You're going to get impeached. And he said, oh, yeah, get on an airplane and come home. Is he going to do that again? I don't know. But the Chinese kind of hitting us with a broadside about, hey, they're going to roll back everything, or at least roll back recent ones. They're not doing December. They're going to roll back, some of the existing, and maybe we'll buy, a soybean. Folks, they haven't done anything they've promised to do. But let me say this one more time, mainly so I need to hear it. Trade the market you have, not the one you want. And right now we're in a momentum market that is going up on hope. Cautiously bullish with a capital C means what? One hand on the ejection handle. Market, look at these grinds higher, implosions, grind higher, implosions, grind. This isn't even a grind higher. This is a rocket ship. We just keep going up. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe the market will take any, scraps from the table. Let me go back to the end of this article here, because there was, where is it? So this is at the end of the article, folks. Let me remind you of what the bigger picture is with China. At a conference in Beijing last weekend, several Chinese speakers, including former government officials, said they expect disputes between the U.S. and China to stretch on for decades, whatever the prospects for a near-term agreement. The frictions are not just about trade. A lot of areas haven't even started yet. Ladies and gentlemen, how many years have I been saying this to you, my members? This isn't about trade, ladies and gentlemen. I'm surprised they're even acting like this. Whatever they agree to with the United States, they're not going to do. They're not going to stop stealing all of our stuff. They're not going to stop, government subsidies of their companies. They're not going to do one thing they agree to do. They might buy some beans here and there, but we did the math the other day, folks. The biggest year for China buying our ag products was 2013, and it was like 29 million. The president's running around with this 50 billion number. Even the Chinese government the other day said, well, we don't even know where he got that number, 50. The most we've ever bought from you guys in a year was 29, and it was years ago, and that's just unrealistic. So be very careful in this market. Rip your face off rallies built on hope often end in flames, or profit if you do it right. So I think this morning I'm going to sell into this pop for tomorrow. I'm going to sell another. So we have 2 winning SPX trades so far this week. I'm doing another bearish one for tomorrow. The danger with that, folks, is that the White House or the USTR come out and say what? Yeah, we agree with them. That sounds good. We agree to all that stuff. And if they do, that makes Trump look desperate. I thought the president was Mr. Huge Deal. We ain't doing this in phases or whatever. It's big or nothing. 2-3 months ago, we saw him cracks in that facade start to appear. But the president's kind of got some other stuff on his mind with the lamestream media. So anyway, all right, I got to get going. I'll get this posted, and then we'll be convening at 10 a.m. today for the portfolio review and our weekly debrief. Big week this week, and we'll see what happens today out of the White House or the USTR and how the market reacts to it. Remember, folks, the president watches his market on a daily basis almost as much as I do. So it'll be interesting. Love it. A lot of cool stuff going on. Like I said, a lot of good-looking profits. Got an FXI that's underwater right now, but if you're not in that FXI bear call spread that expires tomorrow, the 43 and a half, which obviously is kind of an at the money or a little bit in the money bear call spread, I'd look to do that maybe today. Up a full % on hopes, and we haven't heard anything out of the United States. China's more or less driving these negotiations and pushing us around like a wheelbarrow. We'll see if Trump acquiesces. All right, guys, I'll see you at 10 a.m. Have a great rest of your day. Have you hunting, make sure you hedge, and God bless. We'll talk to you in a little bit.